You're stuck on a problem. You sit there, you stare at the screen, your mind goes blank. Then you stand up, walk to the kitchen, and the answer just appears. You think it's a coincidence? It isn't. Your body is doing something far older than you realize, something wired into you since your ancestors walked across the African savanna millions of years ago. And it still switches on every time your feet start moving today. Here's where it gets strange. Humans aren't the fastest animal. Not the strongest, not the sharpest claws or teeth. But humans have one bizarre advantage almost no other animal has. Humans can walk and run for extraordinary distances, for hours, without stopping. Anthropologist Daniel Lieberman at Harvard spent years studying this. He calls it the endurance running hypothesis. Your ancestors didn't outrun prey with speed. They outran it with patience. They walked and jogged for hours, sometimes an entire day, until the animal collapsed from exhaustion. Think about that. Muscle didn't win, time did. But here's the stranger part. To survive hours of tracking, reading wind direction, remembering terrain, and predicting where the prey would turn, your ancestors' brains had to stay switched on the entire journey. Walking wasn't just about legs. Walking was about a brain fully awake. And this is where it changes how you'll see something as simple as a walk. A researcher named David Reichlin, an evolutionary biologist at the University of Southern California, studies the link between physical movement and the human brain. He found that endurance-based activity, like long-distance walking, is closely tied to the growth of the hippocampus. That's the part of the brain that handles memory and navigation, and in humans, it grew larger than in other primates. Why? Because for millions of years, survival meant moving and thinking at the same time. Your brain didn't evolve to sit still at a desk. Your brain evolved to think while it moves. Now compare that to your life today. How many hours do you spend sitting each day? 8 hours at work, an hour eating, 2 hours staring at a screen before bed. Your body, built to walk thousands of miles over a lifetime, now spends most of its time frozen in one spot. And maybe that's exactly where the problem starts. In 2014, two researchers at Stanford, Marilia Pezzo and Daniel Schwartz, ran a series of simple experiments. They had people sit still and complete creativity tasks. Then they had other people do the same tasks while walking, some on a treadmill indoors, some outside. The results were consistent. Walking boosted creative output by up to 60% compared to sitting. 60%. That's not a small number. What's even more interesting, the effect didn't vanish the moment people stopped walking. Some stayed more creative even after they sat back down, as if their brain carried the momentum with them. As if a moving body switches something on in the head that doesn't shut off right away. Why would this happen? Scientists suspect a few reasons stack on top of each other. First, walking increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain. Second, the repetitive rhythm of footsteps creates a kind of relaxed focus, something close to moving meditation. Third, and this is the most surprising part, walking pulls part of your attention away from the problem itself. Instead of staring straight at it, your brain processes it sideways, freer from pressure. It's a bit like trying to look at a faint star in the night sky. Stare right at it, and the light disappears. Look slightly to the side, and it becomes clearer. Your mind works in a similar way. Sometimes the answer shows up only when you stop staring directly at it. And maybe that's why so many great thinkers throughout history were known as devoted walkers. Not a coincidence. They stumbled onto something their ancestors already knew millions of years earlier, long before anyone had words like creativity or cognitive psychology. Now think back to that earlier moment. You're stuck at your screen. You stand up, walk to the kitchen, and the answer appears. That wasn't a distraction from your work. That was your brain returning to its factory settings, settings shaped over millions of years of hunting, migration, and long journeys across continents. But there's one more thing most people never notice. Your ancestors' bodies were never built to walk alone on a treadmill staring at a blank wall. They walked while the world shifted around them. Trees, rivers, animal tracks, the position of the sun. All of that stimulation helped switch their brains on too, which means not just any walk gives you the full effect. Walking through open, changing scenery seems to give a bigger boost than walking somewhere flat and repetitive. Your body still notices the difference, even if you don't. So why does any of this matter to you now in a world built from chairs, desks, and screens? Because you might have been reaching for the wrong solution to an old problem. You sit longer when you're stuck, hoping focus will arrive if you stare harder. But your brain and body are asking for the opposite. They're asking for movement. Every step you take today echoes millions of steps your ancestors took just to survive. The difference is, they walked to chase food. You walked to chase an answer. But the mechanism deep inside your brain is nearly identical. So the next time you're stuck, don't sit there longer. Stand up. Start walking. Not because it's good advice from a doctor, but because millions of years of evolution are waiting to switch something on in your head the moment your feet start moving.